Grabbed one of my other drones. I'm gonna scout all of this area. It's a little harder than it looks to try to spot something small on the ground with a drone. So there's a horse named Rusty, who is up in these fields. The farmer, he let me come up, and he's gonna let me launch my drone from up here by the cell phone tower that I was using as a landmark, because I had no GPS on the drone. And he's gonna let me come up here, and he's gonna let me fly around and try to find my drone. It's gotta make sure the gates are closed so Rusty does not escape. That drone it has to be down here somewhere. So hopefully we find it, crossing my fingers. So basically I've lost my drone. I've never lost a drone. I've crashed twice. I've crashed twice, and but I've never lost a drone. And there's a lot of reasons I've never lost a drone. And I fly relatively safe and paranoid. I started flying back in the days of the Phantom 3 standard, the Phantom 2 Vision, all that kind of stuff. Like probably 6-7 years ago. It's been a while, maybe even longer than that. But long story short, I had lost my Mavic 3, and I could tell you it wasn't because of user error. Basically what happened was I was filming a hot air balloon wedding right here in Benton Township, and in rural Pennsylvania. Just unbelievably beautiful area. And a couple was getting married in a hot air balloon. They hired me to come and grab some footage of it. I said, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. So I'm in the second flight, and they're not too far away. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my drone just loses all GPS. I still have RC signal. I still had video, a good clean video feed coming in. GPS was gone. It didn't, the drone flipped into attitude mode, Addy mode, but it didn't know where it was on the map. So the first thing I did was I pulled up the map, and I'm like, okay, let me try to adjust my heading and head back for me so I could land this thing, restart it, see if there's maybe some kind of issue. And well, my heading was not accurate on the drone. It not only was it not showing where the drone was on the map, it stopped showing how fast the drone was going because it didn't have GPS, and it stopped showing a proper heading, so it didn't show me which way the drone was actually pointing. Raised the drone up a little bit and started looking around for landmarks, and I didn't see anything. And I'm only like 16 minutes into the flight when it lost positioning. And so if you don't know anything about attitude mode, Addy mode, is where the GPS doesn't use, or the drone doesn't use GPS for positioning. So if the wind blows it, it'll blow. If you start, if you're flying at 20 miles an hour or 30 or 40 miles an hour with that drone, it will continue flying at that speed because it doesn't automatically brake and hover in place. It can't hover in place. Its momentum will carry it. Being in Addy mode, combined with the fact that it had no positioning on the map, meant that the only way I could get that drone back to myself was by identifying a landmark and flying to that landmark, and hopefully finding myself. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's a light tree cover around me, and the only landmark that I knew about, because I'm not familiar with this area, was the Fleetville Fire Department. If you're 100 feet away, you can't see the building. I'll show you the flight logs. You can see exactly where I was flying. And the strangest thing, you can see in these flight logs that it went into Addy mode at about 15 minutes and 39 seconds. I identified a cell phone tower. I didn't know where that was, but I figured, you know what, I might as well use that as a landmark to come and hunt for this. At this point, 25, almost 30 minutes into the flight, I knew that, I was gonna have to find a spot to land that was not where I was standing, and I was gonna have to come and find that drone. So I started looking around for landmarks, and I saw that cell phone tower, and I landed in a neighborhood nearby. At least I think I did, because at 100 feet, I lost, that's, at 29 and a half minutes, at about 100 feet, that's when I finally lost all connection to the drone. And so not only did I not know where it was on the map, I couldn't see the video feed, and I had no RC connection. And the strangest thing, I was really hoping, okay, Find My Drone is gonna help me find this thing. Problem is, Find My Drone does not work if the drone has 0 GPS. The drone had no idea where it was, and I'm looking through these logs, and it wasn't telling me my speed. After 15 minutes and 39 seconds when it lost that GPS, it wasn't telling me my speed, it wasn't telling me my location, it wasn't telling me my heading. I had 0 information except for elevation. That was the only information I had, and that was pretty much irrelevant at that point. Like, the elevation around here varies wildly. A complete and utter hardware failure of the Mavic 3. I honestly can't think of anything. I mean, there's some wishful thinking kind of things I could have done. I guess scouting your area before you fly is more important than, I never even considered doing it. Like, before you're flying and doing any kind of job, pop the drone up about 200 feet and look around, look down, identify a couple landmarks, especially if you're like me and you're unfamiliar with an area. Take 5 minutes and do that. Identify a couple landmarks that you'll remember. Like, okay, if this happens to me and my drone drifts out of line of sight because it's in ATTI mode, then I could find I know where this landmark is, so as soon as I spot it, I could fly to it, and boom, I'll be able to land safely next to myself. If that ever happens to your drone, and if you're ever not sure where it is, and you're not connected to GPS or anything like that, don't do what I did. Like, don't not record it. Hit the record button, because it's saving that video to your phone. Or your controller. I have the RC Pro controller. It's saving that video to your RC Pro controller. You know what would have really helped is when I was going around and I'm looking for the drone and I'm asking people, hey, have you seen the drone? What would have really helped is if I could have been like, hey, this is the last image I had when I was coming down. Do you know where that is? That would have helped so much, but I did not do that, and I'm an idiot. Kicking myself for doing that, but it's a hardware failure, and I'm gonna show these flight logs to DJI. I'm gonna be like, listen, this was a hardware failure. I really think you need to replace this drone for free. The drone doesn't matter as much as the footage does. Luckily, I still have the 1080p footage that went down to the controller. Luckily, I still have all that footage, but man, I shot a beautiful wedding in 5K on the Mavic 3. It looks amazing. And I don't have that 5K footage because I don't have the drone. So hopefully somebody sees it. I handed out my business card to dozens of people. So hopefully somebody finds it and gives it, and gives me a call. That would be awesome. But 1080p footage looks good. It's not like perfect, but I mean, we've been living in 1080p for decades now, and it is what it is. I'll keep you updated on what happens with the rest. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See what DJI says. It's tomorrow's 4th of July. So I don't think they're going to be available to contact. So I'm going to have to wait till Tuesday. And I spent all day searching for this stupid drone. Just goes to show a lot of stuff can go wrong. A lot of stuff can go wrong. And nothing's ever really totally in your control. So none of us are perfect. And our gear certainly isn't perfect. It is what it is. All right, see y'all next time.